Extra, extra! Tonight, our top story. Despite the prevalence in daily life, many people don't know much about news, or what it is. So, what is news? According to the Oxford Dictionary, news is newly received or noteworthy information, especially about recent or important events. But what does that mean? News is the telling of information as it happens, and can cover all sorts of different topics, and can be told in different ways. You can be told news through writing, photography, video, art, and more. But it all comes down to the same thing: education. Much like a teacher wants to teach students and educate them in a classroom to make sure they learn more, reporters, or news journalists, want to educate the world on what's happening around them. So why should you care? News is how we get information about everything going on in our world, from live sports broadcasts to breaking news, or small updates in entertainment or celebrities' lives. Everything that we learn about is through news. You can find news in all different forms too. Like the TV news channels are broadcast journalism, and the papers that are delivered to your house are written journalism. But things like photography or photojournalism and art can also be parts of news. Photos can show an exact moment in time, which means that they're great to tell people about things that just happened or explain new information. Because a photo shows a moment exactly as it happened, it also reduces bias or opinion in news. This helps to make sure that the news that is being told is exactly accurate to the event that has happened, and make sure that everything being told is the truth. Art can be used in many different ways too. One of the most popular ways that art is used by news sources is called an infographic. Infographics are the pairing of visual or artistic elements alongside written or factual evidence. These things pair together in things like graphs, maps, or just adding information to a photo or a piece of art in order to explain it better. Typically, this is beneficial for visual learners, people who need to see something in order to explain it. Sometimes it's easier to visualize something rather than just being told information about it. So if you're told to take 4 lefts and then turn right to get to a room, it might be easier just to see the path. Historically, another way that art is used is through editorial cartoons. Cartoons are where people draw out a representation of an event or a person to share their opinion on it. The word editorial specifies that this is an opinion and not just fact. And while editorials or opinions can be great and can show us other people's perspectives, it's also really important to be careful of this, because this leads to something called bias. Bias leads to inaccurate tellings of news and stories. And while there is value to understanding people's opinions so you can see what people believe and why they believe it and have more understanding of the person, it's sort of like a bad game of telephone. At some point, there's going to be some sort of misinformation and people aren't going to understand people's opinions correctly, and then information is going to be skewed or inaccurate. So you're going to not understand the full situation of a story and not see all of the facts on all sides. This is why photography is so important, because you can see an event exactly as it happened. You can't really have that much bias in a photo. While there can be bias in photos, a lot of the times it shows things exactly as they are and can be clear if they are edited or changed. So photography is a really good way to either tell news stories or accompany news stories to show proof of an event and its happenings. Seeing news from multiple different sides or perspectives to a story helps to make sure that you understand all the facts and different ideas about a topic. This makes you more educated and more understanding about the news that you're reading overall. It's always a good idea to read more than to read less. If you're interested in news, you can always join a school newspaper through a middle school or a high school class. These are typically found as electives, and they'll teach you more about news and how news is produced. If you're at Carmel Clay Schools, Carmel High School has something called The Highlight, which is a newspaper that covers everything that goes on at the school and in the Carmel community. Typically, school newspapers cover as much as they can about the school and community that they represent, as accurately and as unbiased as possible. This helps people understand the school better, as well as getting more engaged with their community. At the end of the day, news is about education and community understanding. So if somebody sees news and learns something that they didn't know before, news has been successful. News has been around for pretty much all of human time, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Hi! Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm Madeline Misterka, the creator of Civics for a Future project, which is my Gold Award project. So thank you so much for supporting my project, and I hope that this video helped a lot. If you want any follow-up activities or resources, you can find the link in my bio. It will have all of the resources that I use for information to get this content. It'll have resources for activities that you can use to follow up, as well as the database for all of the videos that I've created and things like that. So I totally hope that this helped, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.